this country we don't dig out foxes or do any of that or bolt them. It's better for me so that I know when we do run, and if it goes in, they'll mark it. I'll be in no doubt that it's actually gone in the hole, that it hasn't run past it. And I've seen that before where we'll run past an earth, and I've seen a lot of huntsmen do it too, and they'll just mark that hole and it's gone in. Yeah. Well, it might not have gone in. You know, you're better off to be sure it didn't go in. So there was the other day I did it at Plumstead. It went in and I was 99% sure it went in there, but they weren't vigorously marking the hole. So I brought them on again and checked all around. You can always go back and mark it. But if it had run on and I didn't do that, and I'm there blowing it to ground, and one of the hounds creeps off and hits off the line and they're gone, I look like an idiot because I didn't check. So you're always better to make sure that it's gone in there. So I encourage it and excite them, and the puppies, well done, look what you did, you put it in the hole, game over, you're fantastic, you make a big deal of it. So that if I'm not there, and they do mark, I can hear the difference. They'll mark without me there.
This is a question I've had since the first day I did this. Foxes are nocturnal hunters. They're out there getting their food, and the morning comes, they hear us a mile away, they smell us, they know we're coming, they have no reason to be out. Why don't they all, cubs, stay in the ground and have us run around till doomsday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the complete answer to that, but they do hunt at night, but you'll see them here hunting during the day as well. They don't actually spend a lot of time in the hole. Foxes spend a lot of time out. They'll sleep out during the day on a sunny bank in a thick park. They don't sleep in the hole. For the most part, they'll sleep out in the day. They'll curl up. You could step over one and you wouldn't see it. They'll curl up so tight in thick cover, and that's where they like to sleep, on the bank. You know that bank in the plantation field across from the quarry, that nice bank? You'll see them sleeping in there. Usually close to water, and would cover from there to the water. And that changes later in the season. They don't, because the lowlands are wet, and the covers the big main woods thin out, so there's not as much cover for them, so they'll be in the real thick places. So later in the season, I start looking at different places for foxes. But they spend a lot of time out of the hole during the day. So,
Peter, another answer to that is that when the foxes all get together at night in the pub like the Whip, and they all sit there and talk about what they've been doing the last few weeks, they all like to talk about what kind of a run they gave us and how they did it. And they have nothing to talk about it. They just went home.
You know, the reason, Ivan mentioned it before, that he suspects, like I think all of us do, that they really like it. And that there has to be a game.
there it is.
Aspect
I see them
is.
looking back. You often see a fox.
Yeah.
A lot of sculptures do it. They do the fox looking back. They all look back until you get right up their backside and the pressure's on. Then they might not like it so much. Then they go to ground, unless they can't find a hole. But here, there's so many holes. There's holes everywhere. So that's drawn and covered. The second part I talked about, I wrote down a few notes on, was when we actually get on a run. What I do. I try to anticipate the direction of the run, and that comes from past experience this season on a fox, or what we did in the covey, how they ran in the covey. Where did they lose it the last time? For me, that's a personal thing. If we run this fox and I didn't account for it, where did it go? It didn't go up. It's gone somewhere. And an old guy said that to me before. Well, it didn't go up. I know that for sure. It can't fly. So it went somewhere. Why did we lose it? Was it me? Was it the whips? Was it somebody driving down the road? Was it a loose horse? For whatever reason, why? So once we get running, I'm worried about, all right, this is the one we ran before, and we lost it at Paddy Miller's driveway, and we never found it again. Where did that thing go? The next time I run you, I'm going to beat you this time. I'm going to figure it out. And I try and do that a lot, and I'll try different things, and it might take me 3 times running that fox before I say, gotcha, I know exactly what you did the last time we were here. The whip's job when we're running mostly is to count hounds, let us know when we went from one cover to another, crossed a certain road if they counted, they got a count, and you'll hear them shouting all on to me or whatever. And watching for splits, hounds where we find 2 foxes at the same time, and we have this happen, they'll be watching me to see which group do you want to go with. And that'll be my decision for the most part, which group do you want to go with. And whichever one I decide, they go and stop the others, and they'll put them onto the lot that I want to go on. And crossing roads. They have to be thinking forward, all right, we're heading for 41. Everything's on, they're all on the same fox. Just basically right after them until we come to a check, which is my next point. Check, usually if I can get there on time, it's important when they're running that I can, unless they're in nice open country where I know they're not really going to check there and there's nothing to interfere with them, I'll sit back and let them run it. But as close as I can be when it gets into farmyards and roads and tricky situations where they might lose it for whatever reason. When we get to a check, I'm looking for the direction they came into that particular area, what direction were they coming from. So I try and figure out where it's going, so that, you know, what caused the check. Was there people standing there? Was there a school bus? Was it the wind? Were there some of the field? What caused them to lose that, to lose the scent right there? So I usually let the hounds do as much figuring out as they can, and if they can, then I'll intervene. Unless I really want to get closer to the fox, then and I know better than they do at the time, which sometimes, not often, happens that I know exactly what's happening, and I'll intervene, cut the corner, put them straight back on. But for the most part, it's better that they re-find it themselves, because they feel prouder about that. And then the times when I'm not there, they can, which happens a lot, they fix it themselves. And they learn, they get fox sense. They learn what's happening in the hounds. You'll see the hounds themselves figure it out. We have a few very special hounds that come to a road, and first thing they'll do is check over. If it's not there, they'll come back, check this side, left, right. And then there's one particular hound that will check all the way down the road left hand. And she'll check, see, this go off to the left, turn around so they go off to the right. She'll do all that on her own, and I'm hoping that she'll pass that on. Minnie. I put my wages on Minnie being right every time. She's been responsible for a lot of the good runs we've had over the last few years, because they would have died of death at a check.
I have a question now, Michael.
Yes.
What would cause you to intervene? I don't understand.
If they're taking too much time, they can't figure it out for whatever reason, and the clock is ticking, the scent is fading quickly, I'll intervene if I think I know better, or I'll try what they already, let them try what they're going to do, and then I'll intervene and try what they haven't done, because sometimes they'll give up. They'll say, oh, it wasn't there, so we'll give up. I will intervene, and at that stage the whips are looking for a heel line. So when they do hit off the scent again, then it's not backwards, because that can happen when they do a circle. They check in a circle, they can hit it off where they already came in on, and then hit it off backwards, which can be a disaster. But a lot of the times they'll figure it out after running that for a few hundred yards, and that's wrong. And you'll see them stop and turn on their own and come back the right way. That's impressive to see. So whips are there on the heel line. They should be thinking of check heel. I'll go to the heel line and stand on it. If they do hit it off, they're coming straight for me, and I can stop them. And they're ready, always ready for when I do intervene and make up my mind which way I want to go with the hounds. They're there to put them on. Sharpen up, you'll hear them blow, and I want them right there and then. So that's kind of like a steer. They're steering for me. So that's basically what happens at a check. Unless you have any questions? No? Good.
I have another question. You go through the same series of options at a check, or is it just dependent upon circumstances?
If I have time, I like to cast back. That's not always possible.